So do you crank them in or do you play them? Ready to run the guns? Time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome back to Bassin 101. Truck talking, more Ricky Clunn. So do you crank him in or do you play him? You know, Rick Clunn, he admitted he's one of them. Once he hooks a fish, he's cranking that dude and getting into the boat. He doesn't pump the rod. He doesn't do any of that. He just starts cranking them in. But remember, he's a power fisherman. So he's got 14, 17 pound test on there. So yeah, he's cranking them dudes in. And he says, and whenever a bass gets ready to come up, you know, he doesn't try to shove a rod down the water, nothing like that. He just keeps power cranking and turns that fish while he's cranking. But what if you like to play him? Well, you know, when you go fishing, you're not fishing tournaments. I like to play him. I don't have anything against cranking them. I guess I did that when I was fishing tournaments. You know, I really wasn't worried about trying to play him down, nothing like that. Ricky did mention about David Fritz. Now, he used to walk around the boat and play the fish out and everything else like that. But even he admitted, you know, well, he's throwing crankbaits all the time. And Rick even said back in the day when he was throwing crankbaits, you know, because he won a couple of classics cranking like that. He said, I was using a 14-pound test. I wasn't playing around. He says, David's using that 8, 10, 12-pound test. He says, I didn't play around. I was throwing 14, 17-pound test. Cranking them dudes in, getting them to boat. But I like to play them. Especially the bass that I catch out of that reservoir that I've been fishing lately. I'm going to tell you, man, them suckers, they got some strength to them. Them bass fight. And I like that. I like to fight them. I like to feel them pull and play, and especially on a little bit lighter tackle. I mean, my slider rig, the biggest bass I've caught so far on my slider rig has been about 4.5 pounds. And that was on 6-pound braid with a 4-pound XT leader. And it was in a brush pile, of all things. But I let him out like a dog, and then I popped the hook in him. It's in Charlie's book. You can read it. And it works. But now that's when you got to play with the fish, because that's a fast action performance ultralight, and it's got plenty of backbone. But man, once you get a good fish on there, that rod will double over, and you got to play him out. There's no horsing them in. You're just gonna break your line. But if you got heavier tackle, now I understand somebody getting excited when they hook a bass. I mean, a little kid, you know, cranking, you know, getting that bass in there. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's always fun to watch a kid get excited like that. But do you crank him in or do you play him? You know, Bill Dance made a comment a while back where he said, if you play a fish down too much, you end up hurting him, because his stress, I forgot what he called it, but it's the stress in his body releases these chemicals that can actually kill the fish. I guess there's a scientific explanation for that. I can see that. I don't play them down that much. No, I don't play them down until they're just done. I don't do that. I've never done that. But you know, cranking versus playing, I'd rather play that fish. Because you've been out there all morning waiting for a hit. I mean, why would you want to crank that dude in within 10 seconds and go out there and throw another cast? Play with them, have some fun with them. But I can understand being in a tournament, you want to get that bass in there, you want to get him in the live well, and we'll keep on going. I get that. Or if you're in a kayak tournament, you know, you want to get them in, measure them, release them, go on with it. I get it. Hopefully you're using bigger line so you can do that. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, do you agree with what Rick was saying? I mean, like he said, he's a power fisherman. He's got the line to do it. He's got the rods to do it. So he just cranks them dudes in, gets them in the boat. I can understand that. So I don't know. What do you guys think? So until next time, remember, new techniques are trendy, but bass never change. May the Father bless you and keep in Yeshua's name. And as always, fish on.